The US and China, the world's two largest economies, are locked in a trade war. This conflict has been brewing for years, but it erupted into full-scale economic warfare in recent times. This isn't a friendly game of checkers, it's a high-stakes chess match where every move is calculated and every decision has far-reaching implications. It's more like a bare-knuckle brawl with global consequences. The punches thrown in this fight are tariffs, sanctions, and trade barriers that affect millions of people. The trade war started in 2018. President Trump slapped tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods, aiming to reduce the trade deficit and bring manufacturing jobs back to the US. He claimed unfair trade practices and intellectual property theft. These accusations have been a point of contention for years, with the US alleging that China has been stealing technology and trade secrets. China hit back hard, targeting American products like soybeans and cars. These retaliatory tariffs were designed to hit American farmers and manufacturers where it hurts the most. This trade war isn't just about dollars and cents. It's a battle for economic supremacy and technological dominance in the 21st century. It's about who gets to write the rules of the global economy. The US and China are vying for influence over international trade norms and standards. The US wants to protect its dominance. For decades it has been the world's leading economic power, and it aims to maintain that position. China wants to level the playing field and become the world's leading economic power. Its rapid economic growth and technological advancements have positioned it as a formidable challenger. The stakes are incredibly high. The outcome of this trade war could determine the future of global trade and economic policies. The trade war threatens global economic growth. It has the potential to slow down economies around the world, leading to job losses and higher prices for consumers. It disrupts supply chains and creates uncertainty for businesses worldwide. Companies are struggling to adapt to the new trade barriers and tariffs, leading to increased costs and delays. This isn't just a spat between two countries. It's a complex and multifaceted conflict that involves numerous stakeholders, including businesses, governments, and international organizations. It's a fight that could reshape the global order for decades to come. The resolution of this trade war will have lasting impacts on international relations, economic policies, and the balance of power in the world. The opening shots of the trade war were tariffs. These tariffs were essentially taxes imposed on imported goods, aimed at making them more expensive and less attractive to consumers. These are taxes on imported goods. They are designed to protect domestic industries from foreign competition by raising the cost of imported products. Trump imposed tariffs on over $550 billion worth of Chinese products. This move was part of his broader strategy to address what he saw as unfair trade practices by China. These tariffs covered a wide range of goods, from solar panels to steel. The aim was to protect American industries that were struggling to compete with cheaper Chinese imports. The goal was to make Chinese goods more expensive. By doing so, the administration hoped to encourage American consumers to buy domestically produced items instead. The hope was that American consumers would buy American-made products instead. This would in turn boost the US economy and create more jobs. However, China didn't back down. They retaliated with their own tariffs on over $185 billion worth of American goods. This was a clear message that China was not going to be bullied into submission. China targeted key American exports like soybeans, aircraft, and automobiles. These sectors were chosen because they are vital to the US economy and have significant political influence. This hurt American businesses and farmers who rely on the Chinese market. Many of these industries were already struggling, and the tariffs only made their situation worse. These tit-for-tat tariffs escalated quickly. What started as a trade dispute soon turned into a full-blown trade war, affecting economies on both sides of the Pacific. It became a game of economic chicken. Both countries were waiting to see who would blink first, each hoping the other would back down. Both sides were trying to pressure the other into backing down. Diplomatic negotiations were tense, with neither side willing to make significant concessions. The problem is, no one wants to blink first. The stakes are incredibly high, and both countries have a lot to lose if they appear weak. This trade war has dragged on for years, with no end in sight. The longer it continues, the more it disrupts global supply chains and affects everyday consumers. The question remains, how long can this economic standoff last before both sides decide, enough is enough? China isn't just playing defense in this ongoing trade war. They're making strategic moves to lessen their dependence on the US market. One key strategy is the ambitious Made in China 2025 plan. This is an ambitious plan to make China a global leader in high-tech industries like robotics and artificial intelligence. Another strategy is diversifying their trade partners. China is forging stronger economic ties with other countries, particularly in Asia, Africa, and Europe. They're investing heavily in infrastructure projects through their Belt and Road Initiative, expanding their global influence. China is playing the long game with a clear vision. They know this trade war won't last forever and are preparing for the future. They're using this opportunity to strengthen their own economy and reduce their reliance on the US. This strategic shift has significant implications for the future balance of power in the global economy. The US-China trade war isn't just about economics. It's a multifaceted conflict that extends far beyond tariffs and trade deficits. It's also a fierce battle for technological dominance, a struggle to control the future of innovation and global influence. The US is particularly concerned about China's rapid advancements in critical areas like 5G, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing. These technologies are seen as the backbone of future economic and military power. The US fears that China is using unfair practices such as forced technology transfer and intellectual property theft to gain an upper hand. These practices are believed to undermine fair competition and innovation. In response, the US has taken aggressive steps to limit China's access to advanced technology. This includes imposing strict export controls and placing sanctions on Chinese tech companies. They've blacklisted Chinese tech giants like Huawei, effectively cutting them off from crucial American components and software. This move aims to cripple China's ability to compete in the global tech market. The US has also pressured its allies to ban Huawei from their 5G networks, citing security concerns. This has led to a global divide over the adoption of Chinese technology. China, however, is not backing down. They're pouring vast resources into research and development, aiming to become self-sufficient in critical technologies. This includes developing their own semiconductor industry and reducing reliance on foreign technology. Additionally, China is challenging US dominance in international organizations that set technology standards. They are actively participating in global forums to influence the future rules of technology. This tech war is about more than just gadgets and gizmos. It's a strategic contest for control over the technologies that will define the 21st century. Ultimately, it's about who gets to control the technologies that will shape the future, impacting everything from economic growth to national security and global power dynamics. Section 5. Economic pressures, debt, alliances, and global influence. The US-China trade war is putting pressure on both economies. The US has a massive trade deficit with China. This means they buy far more from China than they sell to them. The tariffs were supposed to reduce this deficit, but it hasn't worked out that way. China is also feeling the heat. The trade war has slowed down their economic growth. They're facing challenges like rising debt levels and an aging population. However, China has some advantages. They have a huge domestic market and a vast manufacturing base. The trade war is also impacting the global economy. It's creating uncertainty and disrupting supply chains. Businesses are hesitant to make long-term investments. This uncertainty is hurting global economic growth. This trade war isn't just a bilateral spat, it's having ripple effects across the entire world. Section 6. Global fallout, disrupted supply chains, and economic uncertainty. The US-China trade war has thrown a wrench into the global supply chain. Companies had grown accustomed to sourcing goods from China for years. Now, those supply chains are being severely disrupted. Businesses are scrambling to find alternative suppliers, which is costly and time-consuming. The tariffs are also creating uncertainty for businesses worldwide. Companies don't know what to expect next. Will the tariffs increase further? Will new ones be imposed soon? This uncertainty makes it difficult to plan for the future. Consumers are feeling the pinch too. The tariffs have increased the prices of many essential consumer goods. This is putting a strain on household budgets everywhere. The trade war is a lose-lose situation for many businesses and consumers around the world. Section 7. Winners and losers. The uneven impact of the trade war. The trade war has created winners and losers on both sides of the Pacific. Some American companies have benefited from the tariffs. They've seen increased demand for their products as consumers shift away from Chinese goods. However, many other American businesses, particularly farmers, have been hit hard by Chinese retaliatory tariffs. In China, some domestic companies have benefited from government support and reduced competition from American firms. However, many Chinese businesses, particularly those that rely on exports to the US, are struggling. The trade war has also led to job losses in both countries. The trade war's impact is unevenly distributed. Some industries and communities are bearing the brunt of the pain, while others are relatively unscathed. This uneven impact is fueling political tensions both within and between the US and China. Section 8. An uncertain future. The path ahead and potential implications. The future of the US-China trade war remains uncertain. Will the two sides reach a comprehensive trade deal? Will the tariffs remain in place indefinitely? Or will the conflict escalate further, leading to a complete decoupling of the world's two largest economies? The outcome of this trade war has profound implications for the global order. Will the US maintain its economic and technological dominance? Will China emerge as a peer competitor, challenging US hegemony? Or will a new global order emerge characterized by multipolarity and increased competition? The trade war has exposed the vulnerabilities of globalization and the interconnectedness of the global economy. It has also highlighted the growing strategic rivalry between the US and China. The outcome of this rivalry will shape the 21st century and beyond.